This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Hope your morning is off to a fabulous start. It is Monday. I'm Rebecca Smith.
I'm Bill Bryant. Good to have you along on November 9th, and we have a lot coming up.
Now at 6, developing news in eastern Kentucky where state police investigating a deadly shooting.
The case against 4 people connected to the death of a Richmond police officer is moving forward this morning.
And we'll tell you why there's a student walkout plan today at an SEC university.
And we have a little rain down in the southern zone. So not much, but it is spreading northbound. You'll be seeing that wave of energy increase as we go throughout the day. Cumberland Parkway, Howard Rogers Parkway, you're getting in on the mix right now. But look in toward the afternoon for that rain to increase at 52 degrees. I'll show you possibility of some severe weather later on this work week coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Micah. We are tracking developing news this morning. At least one person has reportedly been shot and killed in Wolfe County.
The scene is off Highway 15 near Coomer Ridge Campground in the Pine Ridge community. A relative of one of the victims says at least 2 people were shot and that one of them has died. There is also a second scene at a Shell gas station on Main Street in Campton. We're not sure how those 2 scenes are connected. Our calls to state police have not been returned at this moment. We'll stay on top of it. It will be another tough day in Madison County over in Richmond. A man accused of murdering a Richmond City police officer will be facing a judge this morning.
Raleigh Sizemore is charged with murder of a police officer. He and 3 others connected to the case will be arraigned today. There will likely be extra security at the courthouse this morning. WKYT's Mike Beyer is there for us live.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. The man who is accused of murdering Richmond police officer Daniel Ellis, along with 3 others involved in the case, will face a Madison County judge first thing this morning. Kentucky State Police say 34-year-old Raleigh Sizemore, who shot and killed Ellis, who is accused of shooting and killing Ellis, is being charged with murder. Sizemore also faces 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer, first-degree unlawful imprisonment, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. The man who let the officers in the apartment, Gregory Ratliff, is being charged with complicity to attempted murder of a police officer because he allowed the search but did not tell police that anyone else was inside. As for the 2 other suspects, Rita Creech and Carl Banks, they are being charged with robbery for their role of helping to rob the Gulf Shell gas station. As I mentioned earlier, all 4 suspects will be arraigned first thing this morning right here at the Madison County Courthouse, hopefully giving some closure to this close-knit community who continues to mourn over the death of Officer Ellis. In Richmond, Mike Beyer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. And people across Richmond, and for that matter around the Commonwealth, are finding ways to honor Officer Ellis. Dozens turned out for a vigil last night at the Kentucky Law Enforcement Memorial in Richmond. It was a mixture of first responders and EKU students. Officer Ellis was in a fraternity while a student at EKU. Visitation for Officer Ellis begins tomorrow at 2 at Alumni Coliseum on the Eastern Kentucky University campus in Richmond, and his funeral will be there Wednesday morning at 11. Because of the funeral, EKU is canceling most of its classes on Wednesday, and all Madison County schools, including the model lab at EKU, will also be closed on Wednesday.
A lot of people are reaching out right now to law enforcement, thanking them for service to the community. 8-year-old Jacob Lee says after learning about Officer Ellis's death, he wanted to do something special to help police. So Jacob and his parents bought 6 McDonald's gift cards to hand out to officers in their hometown of Berea.
I wanted to be happy, so I was like, well, maybe they could have lunch or something.
The fact that he thought of this and thought enough to do it for us, it means a lot.
Well, Jacob and his parents now plan on buying and giving out more gift cards. What a special little guy there, doing something really cool.
Well, it's touched so many in the community, including obviously the young among
yes,
us, certainly.
Well, we have more information about how you can help show support for law enforcement, including the Ellis family.
And that, of course, available for you anytime at WKYT.com. Other news now at 6:04 this morning. A Jessamine County paramedic who was critically injured in a crash is not expected to survive. John Mackey was hit by a car Thursday night in downtown Nicholasville. Dozens gathered last night to show their support for the first responder, but Judge Executive David West delivered the heartbreaking news about Mackey's condition. Mackey's friends say he will be taken off of life support once his organs are donated. A heads up this morning for parents. We have a school closing to tell you about. Powell County Head Start will be closed today. Working to find out why exactly now. They've just notified us of the closing. If your child is in the Head Start program in Powell County, you'll need to make other arrangements this morning.
We're tracking a crime alert after a robbery at a Lexington gas station. New this morning, police say two masked men held up the marathon on Versailles Road near Angliana just before midnight. A customer says that one of the men forced him to the ground and threatened to kill him. No one was hurt. The two men got away with some cash. This is a big story right now. The governing body of the University of Missouri system meets today amid growing calls for the school's president to resign.
That meeting comes as dozens of football players have benched themselves and students are planning a walkout on campus today. As Don Champion reports, students are protesting how the school's president has responded to recent racial incidents on campus.
Locked in arms in a picture, football players at the University of Missouri have threatened to walk out over concerns about racial incidents at the school.
We're just going to all stay together as a team, and we all made this decision as a team to, not talk to media.
Over the weekend, the team said it would not take the field anymore until University President Tim Wolf resigns or is removed. For months, campus groups have complained about Wolf's handling of recent racial harassment incidents on campus. Graduate student Jason Butler has staged a week-long hunger strike.
Administration has failed to take tangible actions to really make campus safer for not just black students, but all marginalized students.
In one incident this year, a swastika was found in a residence hall drawn with human feces. Students also report having racial slurs yelled at them in at least 2 incidents. Mizzou's student body president says recent racial tensions have been building for years. In 2010, before Wolf was head of the school, 2 students were suspended for littering the lawn outside the Black Cultural Center with cotton balls.
The students were charged with littering, not as a hate crime, not as something that was biased and discriminatory, but as littering.
For his part, Wolf issued a statement Sunday saying he is dedicated to addressing what he calls complex societal issues, but has not said whether he will step down. Don Champion, CBS News.
And some members of the school's faculty have indicated that they will take part in the walkouts going on there today.
Well, the school's football team is scheduled to take on BYU this Sunday. The boycott could apparently cost the university more than $1 million if the team forfeits the game.
All right. This word just in, Wolfe County schools will be closed today. This is apparently because of the shooting investigations going on over there. Wolfe County schools closed today. In just a few short weeks, Kentucky's Governor-elect Matt Bevin will be taking office. Following his come-from-behind win in the state's general election, Bevin says there are some issues he plans to take on in the first few days as governor. In my interview on Kentucky Newsmakers, Bevin says he will work to remove county clerks' names from marriage licenses. And he also talked about his plan for doing away with Connect, which is the state-run health care program.
Some of this is going to be based on the logistics, but we have got to, as a state, recognize there is a cost to these promises we've made. And if it is more than we can afford to pay, then in reality we're lying to people. I will not be the governor of a state that is misleading people with false promises.
And you can see my full interview on demand with Bevin. It's on WKYT.com.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, and the look outside right now is pretty rainy. Start down in the far southern zones. You got to get in the central zones of northbound. Actually see dry conditions, but it's not extremely rainy. There's very light action going on, and we'll see this spread as we work our way through the day. Watch it be on the increase. Here's your shot outside, and watch this as we approach the noontime hour. I would say that's when most of us actually get in on the mix. So it's moving north, but it's just going to take some time. Here's your look across Cumberland Parkway, Hal Rogers Parkway. That's kind of the dividing line of actually seeing dry conditions northbound and wet conditions southbound. You're still getting some sprinkles north there, I get it, but for the most part, we're staying dry northbound. 37 now in Frankfort. We were 34 just a few minutes ago. Here comes that milder air. And I say milder, it's still pretty chilly outside no matter where you go. It's just much colder up north. Upper 40s, lower 50s down south with that rain, that milder air streaming on in here. 52 degrees by the afternoon. As you can see, at least that on and off chance all day long. Going in toward the evening and night, that's when it slowly fades away, and off toward tomorrow, we'll be right there in the lower 40s again tomorrow morning. But that rain chance is really fading. There's only a small chance tomorrow morning at this time. Let's talk about your severe weather update. The main bulk of that energy is well back west. That enhanced reading you see there with the orange, that's the best chance of severe weather. Next best chance, the slight region. This yellow shaded region, which does include portions of our viewing area, sliding toward Frankfort, Owenton, work your way down toward Springfield and also Bardstown. And then we hit a marginal chance, a very low end chance of severe weather across Lexington, Richmond, Danville, and all the way down toward the Cumberland region. Eastern zones, you're not in on this one, but remember, this is Wednesday night into Thursday morning. If you speed this up just 2 or 3 hours, then you'll start to see this shift over toward the east. So this isn't exactly what's going to happen. We'll have to watch that in the next couple of days, but we do have at least the possibility of some severe storms as we roll off into Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. There is your shot for the next 7 days, and really our focus is that time frame. So overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, it's going to be our best bet of staying awake overnight, because that's when these storms roll on in. More than likely, I'll have to be in here much earlier than I typically do just to get you guys updated and watch these storms as they barrel on through. Right now, it's just a damaging wind threat, but still, that can be as strong sometimes as the other stuff. So
can be a mess.
Yeah, that's definitely something to watch out for.
All right, thank you, sir. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic. Here's Officer Don right now. A look at what is happening on this Monday. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, first we start off with a look at Lexington traffic flow this morning. And really no major issues to report right now as we switch to things and see that I-75 north and southbound looks pretty good. No problems there on 64 either. Everything good to go and green so far this morning. Now, one thing they're going to be working is the area of construction there on Todd's Road. It's going to be actually near, it looks like Forest Hill over to Hayes Boulevard, so be aware of that. Drive times this morning from Nicholasville about 13 minutes. Richmond's about 31. Winchester a little bit longer. Police are running radar on I-64 this morning up to about 36 minutes right now getting to Lexington from Winchester. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Don, thank you very much. We appreciate it. If you're just joining us, the Wolfe County school system is closed today. That's due to a shooting investigation going on over there. Time is 6:12 on WKYT this morning. A lot more news is on the way on your Monday.
Ahead of another GOP presidential debate this week, the new frontrunner facing some unprecedented scrutiny.
And yoga pants are not just for the gym anymore. We'll have details on this new fashion trend ahead on WKYT this morning.